Go fuck yourself! You shitpaws give chase, I will kill your dicks!
What in oblivion is that?
What do you say, guys? You can just hang outside in the sun all day tossing a ball around. Or you can sit at your computer and do something that matters.
No one intervened on behalf of...
This week on RDS Gaming, the video games industry. Good, bad, ugly, or just plain studly. Welcome to episode 39 of the RDS Cast. This week, brought to you by your favorite host, Racer. And today, I am joined by one of our regular broadcasters and a man that may actually become a regular broadcaster. We're really not sure. Gates we think is dead or trapped in the hills of Kentucky. So if you've got him, have fun with him, Cletus. We don't want him back. That's right. I've got Zero.
Hey, what's going on?
And Black Sun.
Good evening, everybody. Glad to be back.
So, gentlemen, it is a good day. A great day, maybe, in some cases, but it's podcast day.
Fucking A, man. Fucking A.
Favorite day of the week.
Yeah. I can go with that. Favorite day of the week. Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely one of my favorites. But yeah, so we're gonna continue the show in its regular fashion, except better. So what do you guys been up to this week? Not that I don't already know, but for everybody out in TV land, what do you guys got going on gaming wise?
Well, played some WoW. Played some PUBG just today. Oh, and then there's that huge one. Fucking Destiny 2. Fuck yes. Makes me so happy.
He's really not excited. You can't tell. He's definitely pretty calm about the whole thing. Seems kind of blasé, like, meh, whatever.
I mean, I can take it or leave
play
it.
Tonight at all.
Because
like,
I knew
I'm not
what
sure.
would
I'm
happen.
just gonna do some PUBG. So yeah, Destiny 2, it can wait.
I know. I knew what would have happened. I'd have got on there. I started playing, and I wouldn't have wanted to stop fucking playing. That's exactly what would have happened. I know me, and I know exactly what I would have done. And podcasts, I would have rolled around, and I've been like, "Fuck!"
But I stopped whatever you're doing, like I just did. Because that's what I was actually just doing. Was just finished up a little bit there, and then joined everybody here. Other than that, I've been a little limited this week due to lack of electricity. But it did give me some time to do a little Breath of the Wild Zelda.
Fuck you, Hurricane.
Oh, Irma had to come say hello. Which it wasn't so bad. It was mostly that little bit of constant wind. And unfortunately, person down the street, their caddy kind of got the bad end of the deal.
Yeah. So how bad was the wind at your place?
Yeah, 60 to 80 on the gust side, I would say. By the time it got here, it lost a lot of power in a hurry, so it was not nearly as bad as what they were thinking it was going to be. Even the day before, it wasn't that bad, so... Heck, wasn't even a whole ton of rain, really. Just constant wind, and then it switches directions as it goes by. Took out a few good trees because apparently school is still without power.
Yeah.
They're telling us not to return yet, so... Extra long weekend. Thanks, Irma. Well, that could become a bitch because they might have to condense stuff even more to get it done in time.
Well,
And
you know
then-
what they say. Nobody likes it when Aunt Irma's in town.
But yeah, starting last night, thanks to the one, been enjoying Destiny 2 and really enjoying the graphics are a great upgrade, and so far the story, been loving that too. They got some good depth into it.
Yeah, can we talk about that for just a second? Like, everything seems
No,
to
no,
make
no,
sense
no,
now.
just hold on. We'll get to that. Y'all jumping the ship fucking 5 waves ahead. God damn. Y'all act like children just because Gates isn't here. Y'all want to skip formats and jump into some shit? Nah. No, we're going to talk about that at length. In fact, we may not even have time for most of the normal podcast, which is exactly what I expected and why this is going to be an easy one to do. But yeah, pretty much. I mean, I've pissed around in WoW a little bit, but honestly, I'm basically to the point where I have to start raiding to actually get progression, and I'm almost up to 5 max level characters now. So yeah, it's definitely a good time to take a break and launch myself into a completely different game that doesn't involve the same companies or loot grind at all, and start playing some Destiny 2, which I've got 2 of 3 max level characters, and to make any more progression, I have to start raiding. God damn it.
Is that a hint?
That sounds like what you just got done with.
But it is good fun, and it is definitely a shorter trip to max level. But yeah, that's been my entire gaming sum for the week. I have not really done a whole hell of a lot else. And honestly, I didn't dump that much time into Destiny 2, which kind of surprises me. Everything just flows pretty naturally. So props to them on that one. And it's still engaging to play, even if there's not a whole hell of a lot going on right now at max level. So yeah, that's been my week in gaming. So yeah. So you think the storyline finally makes sense, huh, Zero?
Well, it flows together nicely. Like, I am sure there's going to be some twists, and I'm hoping a couple of our tinfoil hat theories come true, to be perfectly honest. But, I mean, it's fun. You know, it's not, jumping around, looking here and there for different story missions and stuff. Like, it flows nicely. It's nice. It's what's the word I'm looking for? It's a nice coherent story so far. I'm sure they'll fuck it up later.
Well, it's going to be pretty difficult for them to fuck it up in the scope of Destiny 1, only for the fact that, well, there were 4 studios working on this game. And there's the fact that they didn't scrap 3 years worth of progress and then literally glue the pieces back together. And by
Yeah.
that, I don't mean like metaphorically speaking. I literally mean content that had been created. I've dug more and more into the history of Destiny 1 now that Destiny 2 has come out, and literally cutscenes that were designed for a completely different story. Missions were cobbled together out of multiple missions for the original game. Hell, we're playing shit from the original game now.
Mm-hmm. That we are.
So it's gonna they would really like somebody Luke Smith would have to lose his goddamn mind and be like, I purposely want to get fired. I need to get fired. So that this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to shatter the game, put all the pieces in a tumbler, spin it around, and then throw it on the floor. And however it lands is how we're putting it back together.
It would be
Yeah,
definitely
that
interesting.
sounds about right.
Put them all up on a wall or dartboard. Just start throwing darts. Yep, this one, then that one.
So yeah, I agreed. I think they did a good job with the story sections. It's definitely expansive. it is kind of a hallmark of Bungie development that you can see very well the points where they listened to the community. I mean, it would have been difficult to come back. And again, I think the whole grimoire system in Destiny 1 was a symptom of the way they had to make the game, to where they're like, okay, we need to be able to write a story, but it can't have anything to do with the game. And really, we'd be better off if it's not even in it. So either they listened or they just had the opportunity to actually present an expanded story in the game for shit that may happen in the future, stuff that may have happened in the past. Just everything, the expanded missions, the adventures, the scannable items, the whole 9 yards, everything feels like one giant mythos instead of basically the abridged version of Cliff Notes, and you got to go find all the references to actually understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Which, like you said, it's not, say, before with the way, they had to glue together some pieces. It was probably wasn't very viable to do, I'm sure. It would have been ugly if they would have done it, most likely, or if they would have tried to get it in. And say the Cade 6 humor is back, and then they added on with failsafe, which is very entertaining. I enjoyed that.
Oh yeah.
So for everybody, what's been your favorite part so far?
Oh. I really dig the cutscenes between Grawl and the speaker. Like, I think that adds something to the story. I think it really, really does. I'm sure I haven't seen them all yet because I haven't finished the storyline, but it's interesting because you get to see the villain much better.
It ties the story and the way it's going together well, and you get kind of a more in-depth look at it.
Yeah.
That is quite nice. I'm enjoying, say between that and just the improved look on it and how everything looks a lot better is not, that's just, I'm enjoying that a lot. And say I'm playing it actually on my monitor, which might help a little bit. The improved graphics they're showing nicely, especially the cutscenes. They really look good. And then entertaining wise, like I said, the Cade 6 and the failsafe missions and going through that, just the humor in those, I really enjoyed that. Missed that since I haven't been in, say, D1 and dealt with Cade for a while.
Dude, Cade is fucking hilarious. I don't care what anybody says. That shit makes me laugh no matter what.
I think the graphical fidelity, the majority of it comes from the fact that this was not built for last gen at all.
Mm-hmm. Well, and if you got, let's say, like the PS4 Pro and whatnot, you can actually going to be able to push the 4K at one point, or even possibly now. But it's a little buggy, I hear, on the PS4 Pro, trying to get the high res. Every once in a while, it breaks.
Really?
Yeah, black screen.
Oh shit! Hadn't heard about that yet.
Yeah, I was reading about that a couple days ago and whatnot. To say the sports there and whatnot, so you can do it and it looks awesome and it does it just fine. But some people are having issues every once in a while where it goes to change. I don't know if it's to a cutscene or what it is, but yeah, it'll just go black screen and they can't get out of it. They gotta close out and come back in. So it doesn't fully lock up, but you gotta close out Destiny and then reopen.
That's
Yeah.
actually not even a not even a PS4 Pro thing. That's a PS4 thing, period. They're not sure what's causing it yet. In fact, the PS4 has been more riddled with issues than the Xbone version,
Mhm.
which is now a running joke made mostly by PS4 owners. That was part of the exclusive content we got. Um, but I've experienced it once now. It takes about 5 minutes and everything will finally load.
There you go. And everybody says all the PlayStation users are all assholes. Which some of us maybe are, but we can take it all and have fun with it and make fun of ourselves also. We're not all butthurt like everybody, all the Xbone users or Xbox Live people think.
But yeah, there was definitely a market improvement in the way things look. The biggest thing that hasn't changed, in my opinion, is the feel. It's still a very meaty game. Everything has a feel and an impact to it, from the way the guns shoot to movement, everything else. The movement still feels great. It's definitely different in regard to how you get around and the way the classes behave minorly, but it was still, first character was a Titan again, and I was immediately comfortable in the controls and how it felt, and more so this time, I feel like the exotics that mod your movement abilities feel more noticeable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree there. And say I don't know. I like the feel of some of the guns better now. Say like in one, I was not a fan of the hand cannons and whatnot, and there's some of them that I've been actually favoring and actually enjoying and doing really well with now. And auto rifles, I've even been doing better with. And I was okay before in Destiny One. I do them occasionally, and they weren't bad, but they weren't. I wouldn't excel with them, and I wouldn't go to them all the time or readily.
Well, the big thing, and I've been a proponent of this since Destiny 1, if you want to get better at shooting, then use a hand cannon. The hand cannon brutally punishes you for not hitting criticals. And they expanded the criticals a good bit in Destiny 2 to where everybody has one. They took their page from the Taken and ran with it.
Mhm. Vex can still be tricky sometimes, getting it just right with the hand cannon, but it's definitely doable.
That's the thing. The hand cannon teaches you to get more precise, and that's why I started using them, was to force myself to aim better. And I did the same thing in Destiny 2. I ran with an underleveled hand cannon for a while just to force myself to get back into the idea of you aim for a headshot or a juice box shot no matter what.
Yeah. No, that's definitely true. And I'd say some of them they have a good feel for me though, and they just the way it's more so it's the recoil and how they come back. And like I said, it was the Ballyhoo or Ballyhoo or whatever it was I told you about last night. That one I love. I like the feel of that one and the recoil. And it was a good straight up and down on the recoil, I guess. And I could time them nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing, and that's why I sang the praises. In fact, one of these days we will get back into Destiny 1 because I want the new Fatebringer in my inventory, even if I never play the game again. That's always what felt good about the right guns in that game, is you could get the pattern, the rhythm, everything else, and it felt good. You felt accomplished being able to use whatever it was to the peak of efficiency.
Yeah, and one it was for me pulse rifles were a big one, and that I used them, started using them, and I got good with them. They don't feel quite as good in D2 for me. I'm not as efficient, and I was trying all the different ones, and I got the hand cannon and used a little bit, and it started flowing, and I'm like, and I mean, if you can do it with a hand cannon, you can wreck a lot of shit. I mean, you just do massive damage, and you can drop things quickly.
The only one that I have found that I have not found one that I enjoy so far is the scout rifles. Like, I don't know what it is, but I like the pulse rifles. I don't mind the hand cannons. I do fairly well with them. Sidearm, AR. I have not found one for the scout rifle that I'm like, yeah, this is good. This one's it.
You'll run across one. You'll eventually end up with one through your favorite blue skin Titan, and you'll love it. Don't worry.
Okay, cool.
See, they're a little different. There's a little different feel to them to a degree, and say the one that has more of a red dot style sight to it, I found that one, and I was doing pretty well with that. That had a little pretty good feel to it. The one with a Midas style scope, it took a little bit. It was a little bit more work. It didn't, I didn't just pick it up and start going like I was hoping, I guess. Because and I used to be good with in D1 with the Mida. I used to rock that all the time, even after it got knocked down and it wasn't the flavor of the month anymore, and still did good.
Oh, Mida multi-tool was always my favorite scout rifle to take into PvP. That was my thing. Like Mida multi-tool or the hung jury. Like if I was rolling with another exotic, I would roll with the hung jury. But I'm looking forward to one that I find in D2 where I can be like, yep, this is it. This is my fucking thing right here.
From what I hear, there's some of them coming. I haven't made it there yet, but I hear they're coming. There's some nice ones up there.
Oh, there are. My least favorite so far have been pulse rifles in general. I have found a couple that I like, but I prefer the higher rate of fire ones, which seem to be few and far between.
Yeah, I found one early. It was just an uncommon, but it had that higher rate of fire, and like the recoil wasn't terrible. Like if you put it right, if you aimed right around the neck, you're gonna hit one in the neck, and then the other two were hitting in the head. So like it was pretty nice. It ran real well.
Nice. Haven't found any of them that have stuck out for me yet. I've tried a few different ones and whatnot. It's like, all right, they're not bad. But none that have been the one that's like, yep, have to watch for more of this style. Maybe because I'm enjoying the other one.
I think with a game like Destiny 1 and 2, like you find those guns that fits your play style and your shooting style, and like you instantly know and they fit. Like I played a lot of Crucible, and the ARs were usually my thing in Crucible, and I found the what was it, Racer? Monte Carlo? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the one I always seem to go back to because I always did well with it. Even after they nerfed the guts out of ARs, I still took that thing in there and had good games, and I was like, yeah, I can live with this.
Normally they don't knock them down to be totally useless. Every once in a while they would, but I mean, if you were comfortable with it, you use it a lot, and you were good with it, you could still use it and be very effective.
You mean like when they killed the hand cannons?
Yeah. And shotguns at one point before they brought them back. Fusion rifles were way down there too at one point.
Oh yeah, at one point you never saw anybody using them, and then they gave them a buff, and everybody and their brother was using them.
Yeah, I started using them, and I got actually pretty good with them.
They were highly rated in the very beginning of the game, and then they got nerfed and never saw the light of day until the last couple months.
Yeah.
Well, the last couple months before the Great Crucible overhaul.
Mm. I'd say for Crucible and D1, say that's the pulse rifles where my sweet spot was. And I would always say I had a couple legendaries, depending on what I was doing or which one I wanted. It'd be one of two I would always go to, and that would be my primary Crucible before. I've been enjoying, say, like now I'm probably gonna go hand cannon, then like a submachine gun possibly for up close. I found a couple of them, and say I can run hand cannon, and they get to where that's not effective. I can pull that out and just mow things down in a hurry.
I'll tell you what, man, that submachine gun, when you're up close, it fucking wrecks shit.
Yep.
It is not the most useful thing in the world in Crucible. It will take a very, very careful application to be able to do it. Like you guys need a buddy up if you want to be carrying SMGs in there. You need a buddy up anyways, but yeah, it's a little difficult. They're not the. I have not had a whole lot of luck using them as the panic up close weapon.
Yeah.
Well, they'd say they're this time now they're pushing more for the definite team based on Crucible currently, so they get the Rumble and whatnot back. Other than that, say that all the current ones from what I've read, anyways, they're all basically you want to be with your partner and with your team, or it's not going to turn out very well.
Oh yes, it is. It is most definitely important to be running as teams.
That's okay, and force a little bit of that. Maybe it'll help when the raid comes out and make it more enjoyable for everybody because they got a little practice or push towards a little teamwork before that.
When the
One can
raid
hope
comes
any-
out, the raid is out, sir.
Oh, there you go. Then. I thought it was next week. I just got it yesterday. I'm sorry.
Have they murdered Grawl yet?
Grawl isn't the boss of the raid.
Really? Who is?
The commander of the Cabal.
The guy that he's always talking to?
No, that's just his advisor. In fact, there's a whole lot of shit that goes into everything that happens in the storyline that I'm not going to ruin for you right now. But let's just say that there is actually some flavor text in the game that relates to it and Callus and Gaul.
Okay, cool.
Nice. It's been beaten in 6 hours.
Damn.
Yeah, went live today at 10 a.m. Pacific, and within 6 hours, the clan had it beat.
Well, I mean, it is the legend himself. That clan is a little, yeah.
I didn't see what clan it was, but yeah, sounds.
So what you're telling me is I need to hurry the fuck up?
Awesome. So you're not. I'm like just ahead of you now. I think.
I'm level 13 or 14. I can't remember which.
18.
Like I said, I just finished up on IO, which was kind of interesting.
Yes, it was. So you're about ready to start your warlock now, Racer?
Yep. And I figured I'll have that one done before you guys are level 22.
Probably.
I'll probably have my first to level 20 beforehand.
Well,
Hopefully,
hopefully tomorrow won't be a terribly long day at work, and I'll be able to come home and sit down and enjoy the rest of the way to 20. That's what I'm hoping. We'll see how that works out for me.
good luck with that. You never know. It's happened occasionally. I found you here in the middle of the week, early, like noon, and you're on and doing something. I'm like, oh, well, all right. I'm good for a break. Let's do something. Let's go kill some people or something.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he always talks it up like it's the worst thing in the world, and then you'll see him at like 11 o'clock playing a game. Like, yeah, you had a rough day, huh, buddy?
Oh no, those are the best fucking days. It's just, things are real weird with work because of just the way our manufacturing is designed. Everything is custom ordered, so one day I could have X amount of units to do, and the next day we could have double that. So every once in a while, I get real lucky and get off at like noon. It's like, fuck yeah, I'm going to the house.
Well, do you sell them down in my neck of the woods? Do they come down this far? That brand?
Oh yeah.
Well, just give it some time. You might get a bunch of orders from down here once everybody figures out what they need.
I guarantee it. Because I'm pretty sure most of the coastal counties where you are Stormbreaker Plus windows are actually required.
Mm-hmm.
So
Let's say down south, they definitely will. They're down there where they got hit hard.
Yeah. No. Here's how this works. Most people are like, oh, a natural disaster, that's a terrible thing. For me, I'm like, oh, a natural disaster, fuck yeah. That means a bunch of units got to go out.
Might get a little extra money.
Yeah, that's basically the way it is. When Hurricane Sandy ripped through New Jersey and all the northern states there, we were insanely busy. It sucks because I hate to think about it like that. People are losing their homes and everything else under the sun. Terrible shit's happening, but unfortunately, their misfortune is my good fortune.
You gotta try to find the silver lining when you can. Maybe not for them, but at least you can get a silver lining out of the deal.
Yeah.
It'd be better if it was gold, though. That's all I'm saying.
That's all right. They get all that tourism money from when everybody here either goes down there during the fucking winter or just says, fuck it, I'm tired of the goddamn snow. I'm moving down there.
Yeah, there you go. When is Arcane Night?
Well, I think we've beaten Destiny 2 to death, so not a whole lot of news this week, but I do have a few items that may pique everybody's interests.
Oh, fuck yeah, let's do this.
Night.
The big news of this week, the happy popular news is Nintendo is reviving the NES Classic.
Yes, I saw that. And I was like, oh, fucking awesome.
And the SNES Classic
will be selling through 2018, I believe I saw. Correct?
Yes.
So they thought about it and they decided to actually give everybody a chance that wants one to get one?
Without paying $400 goddamn dollars on eBay?
I am pretty sure one of the bigwigs at Nintendo saw the sales report from the NES Classic, looked around the room and went, so we're building these for like $1.50 each, and we're selling these for $50 to $100. We stopped making them. Why? who needs fired again?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And,
That's what we were all saying.
funny enough, that probably actually did happen. I can just imagine. I can just imagine a whole bunch of people sitting around a fucking boardroom table. Oh, how many? We sold these units in a week. They're all gone, and we didn't make any more. Marketing, you're in trouble.
No, marketing did great.
Well, yeah, manufacturing, you're in trouble.
No, not even manufacturing. That is a decision from your sales team and your internal approval process to limit a product. Like your production management is the group that would have gotten their asses just fucking thrown off the top of the building on that one.
Probably.
Yeah.
But everybody else, you're just cogs in that. There was a group or a guy that was like, yeah, we're going to make 1 million of these and then we're done. That's it. That's all we're going to do. I don't care about numbers, nothing else. That's what we're going to do. This is a brilliant strategy. No, it's not.
No, definitely not. Like the one wanted one really, really bad. Like she saw that and her 8-year-old, 10-year-old fucking heart exploded. And then, time came around, we realized we weren't getting one, and she started looking around on eBay and stuff, and they were $400. And of course, we can't afford that. Holy shit. But god damn, people were paying it.
Left and right.
And when I tell the one that they're gonna put the Nintendo Classic back on sale, she's probably gonna lose her fucking mind. And I gotta admit, I'm super happy that the Super NES Classic is gonna stay on sale through 2018, because I would love to get my hands on one just to play Star Fox 2, just to play that never released game. I would love to play that. But they put a ton of other really good titles on it, and I would love to play Mario Kart with the kids and stuff, and I'm looking forward to getting one. And I will. Without a doubt, I'll get one.
Yeah. Well, onto an interesting story that I can't even believe I'm about to say this. Last week, Steam was blocked by the Malaysian government.
What?
I seen that.
What happened there?
There was a game apparently put on Steam called Fight of Gods, which featured Jesus Christ as one of the characters you could play as.
Oh, wow.
And then as soon as the Malaysian government caught wind of it, they blocked Steam for the entire country.
Ooh, shit.
Yeah, they were not very happy about that.
That's like some North Korea shit right there.
Yeah, that's pretty close. We're gonna control the content for you. Don't worry. We know you're gonna be pissed about this. We'll take care of it.
Yeah, that's some hardcore censorship right there.
Yeah, the publishers say that, or the creator of the game said the Malaysian government never reached out to them, that it's just a humorous game, and they're pretty disappointed that the Malaysian people aren't given a freedom of choice. But they do respect the rules and censorship imposed in any given territory. But yeah, that one was a little odd. I did not expect to see that a country would block Steam altogether.
Yeah. And of all the games that would cause a block, that's the one? Because, like,
Yeah.
there's some real fucking sick shit out there, and, like, that's the game.
Yeah, it's a $8 early access game.
Well, thank you, Early Access, for ruining it for Malaysia.
Yep. Well, yeah, I mean, early access has ruined a lot more than that, but speaking of,
Uh-oh. He might go where he doesn't want to go.
I think that's what he's going to do.
no, I was just thinking of, video game industry cancer.
Can tie the news into the topic, are you?
Well, yeah, it seems to work out pretty well. I mean, there's a man in charge of our topics every week, Mr. Zero,
Yep.
and he came up with the idea that we should discuss the good and the bad and the ugly of the gaming industry as a whole. Which I think we've got a little bit to talk about there. It is, I mean, it has definitely been something everybody has talked about that is even tangentially related to the industry at this point, from video game journalism to publication processes to monetization to fucking employee treatment, everything else. I mean, we've seen a lot of shit come out in the last 10 years that has kind of given the public a ugly view of the industry as a whole. And then we've seen some great things done as well. So I do think it's something we can talk about a little bit. So let's kick it off here with, like I said, video game cancer, early access, which is not necessarily just involved in AAA gaming, but it has gotten closer and closer. And now some of these big publishers with multi-million-dollar budgets are trying to push stuff out the door in a completely unplayable state as an alpha or as early access, and then they want us to basically play test the game but pay them for it.
Yep. Pay us and then help us out, would you? Let us know what's broken, what we need to do, and instead of you just helping us, and we'll let you help out, see if you like it or not. Then if you like it and our improvements, you can join us. No, you got to pay to do that.
Yeah. I am the early access is a two-sided coin. I really think it is. Like, I think it can be a good thing, or I think it can be an absolutely terrible thing. And I think it has more to do with the state of the game when they release it, and B, what they do with the feedback that they get from it. Because when we play Players Unknown Battlegrounds, and we've been playing it for quite a while, and they're listening to the community, and they're working to implement these things, and they didn't release an unplayable game. Yeah, sure, it had some fucking jank to it, but it's early access, and it states right there in the early access message that there's going to be things that it's not a finished product. and that there's going to be things that aren't right. Like it forewarns you of that. You know, it's not like it's, oh, hey, we're giving this to you early, enjoy. You know, it's, hey, this isn't finished. Please be patient with us.
Yeah, see, I understand that, but in my opinion, when they go to that point or they want to do that, I think it should be in like a beta stage or two, or else at least really close to beta, where it's at mostly complete, and they're trying to finalize the last things and get everything balanced out or something like that. You know, some of them they go. I mean, they're pushing like early alpha and they're doing it, and I'm like, no, no, and that's when I
Oh,
look
where
at
it's
games that are early access, I look into them and I do a little research and try to find some gameplay and whatnot and see before I even think about buying them.
you mean the early access? It's just completely broken and unplayable.
Oh yeah, pretty much. It's really close to that anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was talking about when I said the state of the game when it's released to the public
Mhm.
in early access. If it's close, it's not quite so big a deal. But when it's in that state where it's fucking broken and it's unplayable, and they release it and take your money, that's when I have a very big issue with it.
I'm going to take a completely different tactic here. I have an issue with it altogether. At the point I have to agree that I am paying for an unfinished product that may never be finished, I think it's bullshit you can charge anything for it. Yeah, I get it. There's smaller developers that aren't going to get enough money to build the game they want or to build a game period or do this, that, or the other. And I'm sorry to shit on your dreams, small developer out there working by candlelight to develop a game. If there is no guarantee of a finished product, then they are immediately ripping the community off. And yes, I know we are all agreeing to be ripped off. But the fact that we have a not even triple a quadruple, a quintuple a sextuple A publisher pushing an unfinished and potentially always be unfinished game for cash is bullshit, in my opinion. I am sorry, it is not our job to test and tune your product. It is not our job to hope, to throw money at you and hope. We're getting a bigger bullshit Kickstarter through Steam than Kickstarter ever pulled. Because you know what? If Kickstarter failed, there was a chance to get your money back. But in
Yeah,
this case, there's nothing. You pay and you sign an agreement digitally saying, I'm okay with the fact that this guy can literally stop development today and I have zero recourse other than to sit on a forum and bitch about it. That option shouldn't be there because we're going to see the exact same process over again, and it's going to generate exactly what has happened with PlayerUnknown's Battleground, and now we've got 40 other cash grab versions of the same game coming out. It's dumb, it's bullshit, and Steam as a whole, Gabe Newell should be fucking ashamed for even beginning to entitle that kind of behavior, that kind of business model at all. It's ridiculous. It is just fucking scraping for money. And yes, Steam is profiting massively off of it. Whatever percentage cut they're getting off of these early access games, they're rolling in fucking money. And then we see games like PlayerUnknown's Battleground do okay at updates, do okay at adding content, do okay at listening to the community. And then they try to justify a bigger cash grab. Well, we've got these loot boxes and this is going to be for the event and we're going to tie it to this, and oh well, it's for charity and we need money to hold the charity and to give this away. Yeah, we've made $500 million, but it's just not enough. Fuck you, that's not enough.
Yeah, at 500,000 plus
Yeah.
copies sold at that point, they could have,
You,
they could
you
have been able to put that on with no problem, and it would have only helped them in, furthering it, and it would have put it, a good face forward.
well, here's the thing. They didn't need a fucking esports event.
No.
Your game's not fucking done. Don't try and enter a competitive level of gaming when your shit isn't fucking finished.
That's what I was about to say.
Can you
They held an
imagine?
event.
Can you fucking imagine going out to any other major thing? Fucking, I don't even like it, but let's take NASCAR, for example. Who the fuck is going to take a race car out there? Well, we don't have an engine yet, but we're just going to put the fucking car on the track and have the pit crew push it around.
Yeah, they
But
held
give
an
us-
event
give
for a
us
product
10
that's not finished.
Give us
That's
$10
bullshit.
million. Give us $10 million to fucking go out there and push a car around the track. It'll be fucking entertaining. Go fuck yourself. This is blatant bullshit. And we have seen it too many times through GoFundMe and Kickstarter and Steam Greenlight and everything else. People get fucking money and it changes the development scope. And literally just they lose their goddamn mind. They lose their scope. They lose their focus. Fuck you. I am freely stating right now, I am never purchasing another early access game again. And I don't care. I hope that PlayerUnknown's makes it out, gets into a fully released game, does great as everything the community wants it to be. But that shenanigans was just on top of everything else, and that whole scummy fucking business model was the final nail in the coffin for me. You just can't do that shit. And Steam should feel fucking bad about being the biggest proponent of it. Man, you can't do that shit, not as big as you are, because that influences the entire industry. And Steam makes gobs of fucking money anyways, so you can guarantee yourself that fucking Origin and Uplay and everybody else is trying to find themselves their competitor that can fucking put out some early access games. Won't, no matter what happens, if they can sell for 15, 20 bucks and get 3-5% off of it, they'll be fucking happy. And they don't have to watch it, they don't have to nanny it, they don't have to do shit. They just have to get the title on there, collect the fucking money, and ignore them for the rest of eternity.
Say even $5 or $3. I mean, they still get it. And if you get a few that do it, and it gets others to jump on, even at $3 to $5, they're still going to make a shit ton of money. Both either Steam or whoever, and whoever's putting it out there. And then, yeah, like you said, there's no guarantee they're gonna finish it. Look at the like the old DayZ standalone, still alpha, still got to pay for it.
And here's the sad part. That is the bad. That's not even the ugly. Because how bad, for the ugly side of things, how bad does the gambling addiction have to be when it isn't an in-game event, when it isn't a microtransaction, when it isn't anything else? It is literally the game itself we're willing to gamble on.
True. Well, that's been burned on them before, and that's any other early access. I'd say I don't get them unless there's some solid bet. Well, there's a lot of good to it, and it looks like it's actually the developers are close to a finished product, or there's a guarantee for it being finished. But there's been very few that I've gotten, for a while now. Players Unknown, that was the most recent one, and that was to join you guys in the shenanigans. And I've had some fun with it. So I mean, it's not a total loss, but yeah, some of the shit they pulled is not cool.
Yeah. I think that's the only early access game I have.
I'm pretty sure I've gotten a couple.
I think that might be the only early access game that I have ever had.
Ghost Recon, which I haven't gone back and tried lately.
Was
Ghost Recon, Ghost in the Shell. My bad.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I didn't think Ghost Recon was
Yeah,
early access. I thought that was a finished product.
yeah. No, it was the ghost part, and my mouth got ahead of my brain.
Ah.
Don't let the state of an Ubisoft game fool you. That's actually a full release for them.
Like everything that they release should be early access, but that's just the finished product.
Yeah, with that one, that is a given.
Which again, Ubisoft. Man, you think they fall into the ugly category or just the bad category, sir?
It's mostly the bad. It's not even ugly on their part. It's the same thing we've got across the board, and we're all fucking dinosaurs as far as video games go. We look at this so completely different than the reality of the situation, and I think that's where most of the ire comes from, is the fact that we grew up with the industry. So we remember what it was like when this was not multi-million dollar projects. These were things that people were driven to do because of passion. And it still exists to a small degree, but it's like expecting to walk into a McDonald's and find every person in that restaurant is serving fast food because of this deep driven passion for it. It's a business now, and that's all of them are. Most of your decisions are not being made by people that are so in love with video games. Yes, they may have a drive for it, they may enjoy it, they may have some kind of passion for it, but at the point you have a board of directors, you're not really just sitting there making it for love of the game. You're making it because you're answering to a group of shareholders, a group of investors, and a board of directors. So you got to maximize profit, and that's where Ubisoft kind of fell down. Was they were trying so hard to maximize profit that the quality of their product suffered. Now, in their defense, which isn't going to come out very often, they tried to maintain a high level of story content. Like, shit was trying to make sense. Assassin's Creed, all of that. They were still trying to follow these historic ideas and include these things. And yes, it may have fallen off the wagon sometimes, but they tried to maintain a certain level there. Well, if you're going to maintain that and you're going to maintain your production cycle, the only thing you have that can slip is your actual development quality. And wow, did that happen.
Yeah. See, I never really could get into the Assassin's Creed games. Just not my, not my thing. But like, I had a lot of fun playing Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4, and like, I'm kind of looking forward to the next one that's coming out. Like, I think it's a neat idea, and I hope they do some really cool, really good things with it. And like, of course, it's an Ubisoft game, so there's some jank, but there wasn't so much jank in those games that I couldn't be like, oh, I can't fucking play this anymore. I can't do this. Now, some of the shit in Ghost Recon, there was some pretty serious jank there. I'm really hoping that the new Far Cry doesn't fall that way.
Let's say the Assassin's Creed. The first three I enjoyed, and then I think I got the one after that, and after that it just it went a different direction, and I didn't enjoy it as much. Or I say maybe I put 10 to 20 hours or somewhere in there, and that was enough. And it just the way they went with it. A lot of others then picked it up and they enjoyed it from then. But so like Rachel was talking though, I remember the days, say when PC games were always $10 cheaper than any console game new when they came out, and they always came out finished product. I mean, just seeing, I get where he's coming from because say where we were and where we've come from and where we are now, and the bad part is we let it slide and we let them get by with it, and they're like, all right, well we keep doing this, and then they push it a little bit more and it keeps going further and further. And like you were saying, the AAA are looking to get into the early access now, where they're getting really close to where they're going to start doing it too and start raking everybody over the coals. And they should have the resources and time to, just put out a beta and then, like it, buy it. They do not need the early access funding by any means. I mean, this just fucking us over even more when they get into it.
Oh yeah. I'll not disagree with you on that at all, because not they should. They do have the money and the resources to put out a fully fleshed out game. There's absolutely no reason for AAA companies to be putting anything out in early access. I don't care if it's fucking Blizzard, Activision, EA, any of those fucking companies that are that size. There's no reason for you to not put out a full game at all.
Say they got a development cycle and schedule. They should be able to meet their release dates. If not, I mean, they should be within 2 to 4 weeks tops. But it's like, all right, hey, we came up with this, and that's on the heels of them. Maybe they're having trouble, so like a month before they do a beta for a couple weeks, they find some big bugs, and it's like, hey, we came up with this. We're gonna push it 2 weeks or something. But yeah, it's a beta. You help them figure it out. They maybe push it for a couple weeks, and then yeah, you're good to go. You get a full release game. I used to bitch about that all the time and whatnot. Say we don't get full release games anymore. You don't get them completed, and then here you go. And then you don't see demos hardly anymore either. That's another thing I noticed. Especially not many have demos that you can try it out. See if you like it.
I remember when there was a time when everything had a fucking demo. Everything.
Yep.
And that you're right. That was real nice, because you could test out a game and say, okay, yeah, this is something I want to buy. You could play for a 30-minute session and be like, okay, this is something I'm into. I'm definitely gonna buy this. Or oh fuck, this is god awful. I'm definitely not gonna fucking buy this.
Yeah, you get to run around the first area, the first part of the map, whatever, half an hour worth of gameplay, and there you go. You'll know whether if you're gonna like it or not, or if you wanna buy it.
But you see therein lies the problem. Video game developers realized that people were doing that and saying, "Oh, I'm not gonna buy this." They would honestly, I believe they would rather take the chance on you looking at it, looking at the if you're on Steam or something, looking at the pictures or looking at the video clip and being like, "Oh, that looks cool," like we all do. We look at the advertising for it. We're like, "Okay, that looks cool," and then you take it home and you play it, and you're like, "Oh, well, this is fucking dog shit. I wasted my fucking money." Whereas if you had a 30-minute demo, you could have found that out and been like, I'm not going to waste my money.
See the downfall of rentals.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say a lot of that. It goes down back to and saying that's the developers and whatnot. And it wouldn't be that big a deal. It should be easy enough for them to take part of it. I mean, say you put most of it there. You disable a bunch of it. You don't have to have a lot of the content in there and loaded, so it's a smaller download. You don't have all the extra maps and whatnot, but you have all the core game and the first area, and stick that there. And here you go. If you want, put a time limit on it, or just restrict, down to your area size.
All right. We've been beating on it pretty hard.
Yeah.
Let's end that with some positive notes.
First positive note that comes to mind is Extra Life Gaming. I think that is probably one of the coolest charities that there is for like the gaming industry. And for anybody listening that doesn't know what Extra Life is, it's a charity that you basically do a live stream and people donate money to the charity, and it goes to a number of different children's you can choose which children's hospital, like you're playing for, like Nationwide Children's Hospital in Columbus, and I know there's a whole host of other ones. But that money gets donated to Children's Hospital, so a very worthy cause, and basically, it's a good way to get a whole bunch of friends together and do something good while you get to do something that you enjoy.
Which I agree, it is an amazing thing, and it has nothing to do with the game industry at all. It has everything to do with the gaming community at large.
Okay, well, yeah, I can see your point. See, what we need to do is we need to get the game industry in on this and supporting it too.
And some of them, I'm sure, do, and there's a lot that goes into that. There's not anything that kind of springs to mind as far as that goes, but yeah, it's not really. I guess we're kind of getting to the point where we gotta really, I guess, take a step back. Yeah, we only had a couple of seconds of crickets there, but the one shining example is not gaming industry related. Now, there's some good companies out there, don't get me wrong. CD Projekt Red is one of the big examples of a company that really pushes the limits of trying to be decent. But honestly, I've given it some deep thought, and yeah, there's some cool shit they do, but there's not any like bright, shiny examples I can think of where they made a huge positive impact. Penn and Teller, I guess, Desert Bus, because that was a huge charity thing.
Huh?
That Penn and Teller were involved in the creation of Desert Bus, the world's worst video game.
Really?
And it has become a very popular, in Extra Life and other stuff, very popular game to play because it lasts for almost ever, and it is literally just driving a bus through the desert. There's nothing else that happens. There's nothing else to do. You just drive a bus through the desert.
Like, you can't run over like snakes or something?
No. Nothing happens. Ever. Like, it's been played for multiple days straight by people playing in shifts, and nothing happens.
Jesus.
It's like in the old movies where they had the big screen on a wrap and then it just kept rotating behind the camera with the bus sitting there.
That's kind of
Nice.
funny.
And there's been outreach, and companies have done different things, but I mean, the bright spots that come to mind is like EA not nearly killing employees by making them work overtime.
Yeah.
Down at the crunch time.
Yeah, that, like, literally people hadn't seen spouses in days, and then people were having heart attacks and shit at work, and EA eased up, and that is the bright spot I'm thinking of.
Jesus.
Mhm.
We stopped almost killing people. Look at us. We're so progressive.
That down here right next to me.
That one almost sits in the ugly column too. As in, holy fuck, EA was working their employees so hard that they were dying. Like that one kind of falls into that ugly column also, bud.
Yeah. It took a lot to get them to wake up to that and whatnot. I know that right next to me at Tiburon. I mean, they got heavily worked there and whatnot. I seen an article on that a year or so ago when I was down here and getting started, and I was looking at a lot of the news and whatnot. Then when I had time, and yeah, I seen that, and it's yeah, they got mandatory breaks. You can only be so much, every week now. You got to have what a day and a half or whatever at home every week. I believe it is.
Yeah.
And they give you, I mean, when you're there, you don't have to leave, but you do have to take a break in the evenings. But they have, places where you can go get your, say, a 4 hour siesta or whatever.
Good lord.
Google, they take care of the people there at Google. That's what need to get. If say the gaming industry could get to that standard, what Google does for their employees. Granted, most of them people they don't go home. They have the choice to, but when they're there at work, they are taken care of and they can do whatever they want and they got everything they need and then some, including nice fun stuff to play with.
Yeah.
Don't want to take the elevator? Take the twisty slide down to the bottom floor.
I don't know if I'd trust the twisty slide.
Yeah, I'd say a lot of people like it, I guess.
See, and that's an interesting thing because apparently Google is trying to do it the right way and inspire employee devotion to your company by being a positive, good place to work.
Yeah, they're very strong in that.
Video game industry. Maybe you should take a fucking note.
All right. Well, I guess in closing, the video game industry sucks. Go Google.
Yeah. Oh,
Here's your sign.
I got one final ugly. Konami, fuck you for blacklisting former employees. That's fucking bullshit. Fuck you. Apparently, Konami has just decided that they're going to blacklist anybody who's worked for them at all. Whether they worked for or with Kojima, Kojima or not, they're just going to blacklist all former employees to where they can't work. That's fucked up. So, fuck you, Konami. Go make some more Plinko machines.
Pachinko.
Whatever, I don't give a fuck. I hope all their machines burn to the ground.
He wants to go play Price is Right, I think.
Dude, I do want to play Price is Right. That shit's awesome.
Well, folks, hopefully you get to come on down and bid on some showcases. But we thank you for tuning in, and as always, come back tomorrow and join us for some After Dark. Because you can imagine, as happy as this was, After Dark's probably going to be pretty weird. But until next time, Zero, you know what to do.
Shoot for the stars.
Why does it always have to be so ugly?